Welcome back to episode 2 of Minecraft Sky Factory 4. In the last episode, we did a little bit with saplings, made our progression through the achievement book. I did, in the meantime, spend a little time getting that chest right over there ready to go, which is the key for this episode. But in between episodes, I spent a little time working on the base a little bit. I got a lot of wood, a lot of sticks, as you can obviously see. I also made a bread farm, and this bread farm is way better than eating acorn. And if I run over to one of the chests that has the acorns, yeah, right here, this will give you 1 full hunger bar and then half saturation. The bread that I have gives you 3 hunger bars and 4.5 bars of saturation, which is a lot better than acorns. Plus, also way more reliable. I can get it pretty easily just from farming some wheat. And if you look in our achievement book here, we'll see that we have a good amount of progression made, but today's episode is focusing more on ironwood, because that's going to be our next progression out of Stone Age into Iron Age. But before I do that, I need to get a couple of things. First things first is cottonwood sapling. This is not really necessary at the moment, but it'll get out of the way. In order to make this, I need to get a jungle sapling and a vine. And this isn't too bad to get. If I can just put a clay sapling in some mud, it'll give me 1 sapling, which is all I really need. But I already had mud from earlier, but I'm going to go replace it just so I can show you guys how I make this. It's honestly super simple. Just crush up a couple of saplings, and then go ahead and get the water from that, put that in the cauldron, and then if you add water to it, it will turn that water into mud, and it'll be enough for like 4 bottles, or in this case 4 saplings. And by putting in the clay sapling, now I get a jungle sapling. And then by using a crook, now I have a lot more saplings to work with, because I need to use one of these saplings in order to make the vines. And I could put a jungle sapling on a drying rack, and eventually it'll turn into a vine for me. And now with all the ingredients, I can go ahead and make the cottonwood sapling, which would be useful in the future. For right now, it's kind of just getting out of the way. But I have it now, and now we can move on to the coal sapling. And then for the coal sapling, I'm going to get a birch sapling, but I can't get that normally, so I'm going to have to go back to the cauldron again and then put a sand sapling in some water. And this will let me make get the birch sapling going. So of course, get rid of the wood, go ahead and add new water to it, and then get the new sapling. And then of course, burn it to make the coal sapling. And now that we have the coal sapling, this is the last part I'm going to need in order to make the iron amber, which is going to be the whole point of this episode. So first, I'm going to go ahead and get more saplings, and then I will show you guys what is in the chest. And in the chest here, we have a bunch of bonsai pots and fertile soil. This is how we're going to start able to grow our own trees without having to do any kind of effort. The whole process is actually pretty simple. First of all, just put down the pots wherever you want to, and then we're going to add the soil once we have everything placed down. And the fertile soil here is actually super useful because it'll actually increase the growth rate and the drop chance for loot as the trees grow. So this can actually be upgraded with different mulch in the future. This is just the only one I can have access to at the moment. But as I get better mulch, it'll increase the speed even further. It'll give you even more loot, and overall just make the automation process even easier for you. And with everything all set up, now I put down the saplings inside of the pot, and as you can see, it starts to grow over time. And if enough time has been passed and the growth grows up to be 100%, then that means that you can harvest it for resources. But keep in mind that if you harvest a tree from a pot, it does not give you as much resources than if you were to harvest it like a normal tree on dirt. So it's a lot less resources, but if you can get this to be the upgraded version, you'll get a lot more resources over time because you're not doing anything, so it just runs in the background. But for right now, this is all I can do. And how I have this whole setup here is every part of this is going to account for the iron amber. So I need coal, I need gravel, I need sand, I need clay. And then lastly here, I need the jungle sapling, as there's 1 drop that I can only get from using bonsai hoppers. And this is how I'm going to be getting the next kind of mulch to make things even faster. And what I was looking for was the cocoa beans from the jungle sapling, because this is what lets me make the brown mulch, which is a better version of the fertile soil, and that will make my bonsai pots even more effective. Now, to my knowledge, there is not a better way to replace the mulch, so I have to destroy every single bonsai plot, get all the resources back, and then replace it all the way back down. It's not a big deal. It's actually not really that bad. but I wish there was an easy way to do this. But this is the only way I can think of to replace the mulch. And everything here grows a lot faster, and honestly, it's just super satisfying to see all my crops just working away on its own, and then I can just come by once in a while and just pluck it all up for free. It's nice. And now with all resources I have, I can combine that with the sand, gravel, clay, and coal resin to make iron amber. And this is the start of every future automation process going on, because this is going to be a key component for almost everything I'm going to need. So if I put this in the smelter, eventually the amber will turn to iron, and then that's what I'm going to be using in the next part of this episode. And with the iron here, I can surround it with a chest, and this will make hoppers. And now if I combine this with a bonsai plot, then I can actually make that into a hopping bonsai pot, which will actually make things, in this case, automated, where it'll now dump all the items into a chest, nice and nifty for me. And very soon you're going to see all those bonsai pots that I had on the ground are going to go into these chests now. I'm going to have a whole army of chests just going along. And ideally what I would want to do is have 2 saplings per resource, so that way I can get it over time, come back and get it if I need to, and then run away. Just that kind of stuff. So this is just going to help me get things, 1, more organized, and 2, I can do my other projects like making a big smelter next episode and have all this running in the background, because I'm going to need a lot of resources, and this is how I'm going to do it. In between episodes, I'm going to go ahead and work a little bit more on these chests, making sure that I can get resources for all kinds of saplings going. So at the start of next episode, we can focus more on our next big project, but in order to do that, I need a lot of resources. So thank y'all for being here. If y'all like this series so far, leave a like. This is going to be almost a daily thing. So I hope y'all guys like this. If you guys do, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next episode.